Kia winning the Oscar of the Indian automotive industry, the Autocar India Car of the Year and Manufacturer of the Year for 2020.
In less than 2 years, it has managed to become the fourth largest car manufacturer in the country with a market share of over 5%.
Kia Motors, the South Korean car manufacturer that made their debut in India recently, stood out for exceptional performance.
I think it's a phenomenal product. It's a great honeymoon period. The challenge would be to sustain it in the future.
We had given Kia the award for the most awaited car maker, and Kia did not disappoint us at all.
South Korean automaker Kia Motors is set to inaugurate its fully functional Anantapur facility in India with an investment of over $1 billion.
When the word spread, Kia managed to ship out 1 lakh units of the Seltos, making it the fastest growing auto brand in the country basis sales volume.
All in all, we believe that the product is extremely attractive for any SUV intender.
Hi everyone. India is the fourth largest automobile market in the world, and I think it would be an understatement to say that India is an automobile disruptor. It has been attracting automobile manufacturers from across the world since decades now, and not every player entering the country has found success. Automobile industry in India has been evolving at such an exponential pace that trying to devise a strategy which would provide even a fraction of success, which the veteran players like Maruti and Honda have been witnessing, poses as an insurmountable hurdle, and Kia just keeps on vanquishing any in its way. So today we will be analyzing how Kia managed to crack the code of the ever so complex Indian auto market, how it overcame and avoided the mistakes made by its American counterparts such as Ford and General Motors, and how it became the dominant force which won't stop anytime soon. As a first step, let's put Kia's laurels into perspective. In July 2020, Kia registered a record sale of 1 lakh units sold in the Indian market and became the fastest car manufacturer to do so in just 11 months. 6 months later, it attained yet another feat of recording sales of another 1 lakh units and became fastest to 2 lakh figure. Now, when you compare these two Kia's sister concern, Hyundai's number at the time when it entered the market, Hyundai took 20 months to reach the 1 lakh milestone and 32 months to reach the 2 lakh sales figure. Although we can make an argument here in Hyundai's support that the market wasn't the same back in 2001 and more cars sell today due to the industry and financial growth of the country since then. But even then, the margin is too large to refute the fact that Kia has had a smashing entry in the Indian car market. This smashing entry can be corroborated with the fact that Kia grew its revenue by over 80% and operating profits by over 400% in financial year 21, despite the COVID-19 pandemic and lockdowns. Its revenue is equivalent to 30% of industry leader Maruti Suzuki and half of Hyundai already. Adding to this, even today, the company has order book of over 50,000 units in waiting period of at least 3 months. So the question arises that how did Kia manage to achieve such milestones in such a short span of time? Well, the answer to this question is based on 3 different engines which contributed differently to Kia's success, with the first one being learning and avoiding mistakes made by its American counterparts. India has seen the exit of multiple American automobile manufacturers now, such as General Motors and Ford. Ford, a company which pioneered the assembly line manufacturing, was one of the first global automobile organizations to set foot in India, way before Hyundai did. And since their arrival, Hyundai has gone on to become India's second largest automobile manufacturers, while Ford has completely shut shop and exited India. But why did Ford exit India? What were the reasons that compelled their failure in the Indian market? Well, to start with, Ford's major issue was that they did not understand the Indian market and its functioning even after so many years of operations. India, which is a consumer's market and not a seller's market, Ford here used market-based pricing instead of value-based pricing. But the question is, what are these pricing models and how did they affect both Ford and Kia? Market-based pricing is when the seller prices the product as per the market prices for similar products being offered by their competitors. And value-based pricing is the pricing set according to the customer's willingness to pay as per the perceived value of the product. Now, Ford used market-based pricing and priced their products in line with their competitors, but failed to take into account the nature of the Indian consumers. Indian consumers perceive the value of the product and then make their decisions, especially when buying a car. If I, the Indian consumer, wants all the features in my car at the lowest possible price point and I'm not able to get the perceived value, I will simply switch to the competitor. And that's where Kia got it right. Kia, with their thorough market and customer research, identified the Indian consumer's nature and offered them features which were not available before in same segment cars. Kia played it perfectly on the value-based pricing and hit it out of the park. Secondly, Ford's issue of fewer product offerings and unoptimized manufacturing plants created a whirlpool of bigger analyzed concerns. Operations at Ford were not cost preventive and agile and did not follow the legacy philosophies of the American giant in India. Ford's executives perceived it as a big global brand with infinite resources and pool of cash, which is why their solution to the problem of fewer products was to open up new manufacturing plants, with old plants left with unrealized capacities and tons of overhead cost added to the accounting books. Kia, on the other hand, looked like it was well read with Ford's history, and only after they reached their milestone figures and maximum manufacturing capacities did they flag off newer plants for newer, more diverse models to be introduced in the market. They were well aware that they have cracked the formula and identified the opportune time to scale up the figures. Coming on to the second tangent which helped Kia in its success, brand positioning. Let's take the example of Tata Nano. Why did the Nano fail in Indian market, where the consumers are always looking out for cheaper price point products? The simple answer to Nano's failure is that Tata placed Nano as a poor man's car and not an affordable car, which made customers turn against this philosophy as people were not willing to accept and associate themselves with this offering to the poor man. Kia once again obviously had done their homework and did not want to create a brand image which was only associated with competitive pricing. Rather, Kia changed their brand image and positioned themselves as a brand which delivers superior design and quality along with the competitive prices. Kia also learned another useful lesson in terms of brand positioning with the help of Skoda's example. Skoda, though had entered the market light years before Kia, the company is still looking for a firm place in the automobile food chain in the country. The research and the competitor analysis gave Kia the clear picture that brand positioning alone will not suffice, and they will have to have adequate launches at right times so that they can diversify their products, sales and segment positions in the market, which is portrayed by Kia's second brainchild, Sonnet's exponential sales. Finally, onto the third tangent in Kia's success: marketing and more marketing. We talked about how Kia was impeccably vivid about their brand positioning. They knew where and what of they wanted to place themselves. This was also reflected in their marketing campaigns, both before and after entering India. Kia knew before entering India that they had zero visibility among the Indian consumers in terms of their brand and were well aware of the fact that they could be left isolated and untouched, being called as lesser of the two sisters living in the shadow of Hyundai. Kia, as we have established already more than a few times now, was very thorough with their research. They knew how powerful a marketing campaign can be. The question arises, what was it that made them realize this? Volvo had this very popular and over-the-top campaign with the actor Jean-Claude Van Damme, where he was doing a Ajay Devgan split on two trucks. The only difference being the trucks were reversing. Sounds filmy, right? But as it happens, the campaign was viewed by 40 million people in just 9 days of launch and generated a revenue of $170 million for Volvo, and just on a budget of, wait for it, $4 million. Now that's the power of marketing. So Kia, with confidence in their world-class designs and their efforts to uplift the brand before entering, launched the official Match Ball Carriers campaign, where two kids from India were invited to carry the ball in the FIFA World Cup and made the brand's presence felt with more than 80 million views. Even post entering India, Kia did not lose sight of their positioning and targeting. They were very clear since inception that they wanted to be known as the youth brand in the country, especially with the launch of a SUV, which is why they hired Tiger Shroff as their brand ambassador and showcased taglines such as magical inspirations, stunning design, and Kia, the power of surprise, which imbibed a feeling of premium and different amongst the consumers, resulting in 236 million views for the ad. If the ad was selling so much, how were the cars not to sell? So just to sum up, Kia, a brand which no one knew about before their entry, managed to cement their place in the automobile industry in just 3 years' time by avoiding the mistakes their competitors made, manifested a clear brand positioning, and delivered an on-point marketing campaign. I think it's time for me to go and buy a Kia car. But before I go, if you like the episode, hit that like button below and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you all in the next one. Mindfulness signing off.